Hey everybody!
Hello again. We are back with the
Welcome back.
Welcome back. We're
Part 2.
Yes, we're back with part 2. Finishing up. We have a few more key points that we would like to make off of last week's.
Overcoming your fears.
And I think we got sidetracked a little bit, which happens, but it was, I think, still.
The main points were.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think it was still relevant,
Yeah, for sure.
because we kind of touched up too on like how we handled the anxiety that we got from the fear.
Yes,
So-
that's true. We realized afterwards that like how much of that was about actually overcoming your fears and how much was it about just your everyday anxieties. For me, I think I threw a whole lot of anxiety stuff in there just because I was like having probably anxiety. But
As
we
was I.
do want to finish up on part 2.
Because we have a few more.
Points
Good
to add that we
pearls.
forgot. Yeah. So we will do that. If you hear any odd noises or see any flying through the air or hanging from chandeliers doing backflips, that's just the cats, because as usual we wait until 7 or 8 in the evening to do this, and that's definitely their Zoomy time.
I was trying to drink. So,
But yeah, we just wanted to mention a few things that we wanted to throw in there. Just didn't have time. Didn't want to make it that long. So
absolutely. I just jotted down some notes, and one of the first ones that I remembered after last week was words of affirmation that I have literally written on my mirror that hangs in my bedroom. So like the mirror I use right after I get up in the morning and get my shower and get ready. I have just used like a dry erase marker and written words of affirmation on there, because I believe that thoughts are powerful. And like we were just talking, they say fake it till you make it. And so like, even if you don't believe it, if you keep telling yourself these things, like eventually, they
start
will sink
believing them.
in. And yes, so, and they're just a positive start to the day. So, I mean, like
it's
mine,
just. Sorry.
no, you're fine. I was just going to say, like, give a couple examples. Like, I think, like, one of mine says, everything is, the universe and everything in it is for you. Another one says, live for God. Just things like that. Just little, and another one says, your new life will cost you your old one. They're just little quotes that really, like, ring true to me at this time. And I'm sure I'll, when I'm dealing with something else, erase them and put something else in there.
Yeah,
But
there's
those
all
were
kinds.
what like motivational things I needed to,
And it's what
keep me
touches
on
you
track.
for your situation at the time. Just like how we condition ourselves to believe ourselves that, we're not or whatever, we do that, and we start believing it. Like our subconscious starts to believe, what we're constantly thinking, and our thoughts do matter. And so that's where we're coming from with the affirmations. We believe that you can make yourself think good thoughts with these affirmations. I think different things work for different people. I think that's very helpful for a lot of people, though, the affirmations.
Agreed. And thoughts really are powerful. I guarantee you we'll do a whole podcast
Universally.
on my
Just
opinions
thoughts.
and thoughts on how important that is. So
I've even told my girls before that, don't believe them when they tell you, oh, you can't control your mind, or you can control this or that, but you can't control your thoughts. Oh, yes, you can control your thoughts. It takes work.
it's like a muscle. Anything
Yes.
else, like with practice, you build its strength. So that's another reason, like, it's a good idea to start your day off and just keep reiterating those positive affirmations to yourself, because the mind is like a muscle.
For
The
sure.
more you work with it and practice it, the stronger it becomes.
And like if a certain, negative thought wants to keep presenting itself, I've kind of taught myself to immediately think of something. When I say taught myself, not like I do it every time I should, but I teach myself every time, remember to do this next time you think this, because if it's an awful thought, it doesn't belong in my head. So immediately I'm going to think of the opposite thing, or I'm going to think, I'm going to basically condition myself to every time that negative thought pops in, I go straight to a positive one, a much higher one. Yeah, I read that somewhere.
We do that a lot.
In a really good book a long time ago. I sure wish I remembered which one. Yeah, but I did. And I've done that ever since. And it does, you condition yourself to basically every time that bad thought pops in, your mind immediately goes to that higher thought because after so long, it just does. You do it on purpose, of course, at first, but it does not take long.
Look at me learning things. I'm surprised.
Look at me remembering things that I haven't. Oh, sorry, guys. I almost lost you.
I'm just surprised because usually we talk about everything. And so I feel like I've gotten all my solid advice from you, and I don't think I've ever heard that one. Like, well done.
Oh, wow. Maybe
so
you just weren't listening.
Could be, but I am now, and I'm going to use that one.
Or maybe I forgot to mention that too. It could be either or.
A lot.
Yes, for sure. I do too. I wish I remembered to use it more often, but I do mostly do that now because I just can't let my thoughts control me like that. Otherwise, I would be for sure in a nut house.
And fear is a liar.
Fear's a big old liar.
Well, I don't know why, but I thought of that while you were talking about that because of all the thoughts, like you were saying, the negative ones get in there, and I just keep constantly reminding myself that it is a lie.
To be afraid. Yeah, it is a lie.
Because the world is for you, and nothing is against you, except for your those negative forces. But if you don't give them power, then you're limitless. We really believe that. Practicing it is a whole nother matter. Sometimes easier said than done, but working on it, keeping on it, like we said, which is reiterating those positive thoughts and positive affirmations and setting ourselves up, like I said, putting them right where I'm going to see them so I can't forget. I'm not going to get up and start my day and not remember them because they're right in front of my face.
And I think another good thing to do for overcoming your fears is to really, and this is hard work, but to really soul search and ask yourself, why am I so afraid of that? What am I so afraid of and why? And a lot of times when you get to the answer, it kind of dissolves the fear because you've dealt with, you found it and you're like, oh, it kind of explains a puzzle piece to you. And you're like, so it's a little easier the next time you have that fear for you to be like, I figured that out already.
And realize it's not really applicable to the current situation. We kind of talked about that.
It was then that
last time
that it mattered, that it should have shown itself, but you don't need it anymore. And then once you realize that, it's a lot easier to let, I think, go.
To dissolve that. Good point. Well made.
But that's hard work, I think. But
it's a lot of self-reflection, but
important work though.
Yeah.
If you want to grow.
I'm forever. I didn't know we were supposed to sit still and never grow and never, learn and never change. And I think the society we live in now is more on board with that, realizing that that.
Thank God for that.
Yes.
I'm glad people are realizing that it's okay to not be okay.
Right, that we're all still learning, we're all just figuring it out.
Exactly.
And my opinions change as I grow and learn more, but this is where we are right now.
Me too. Mm-hmm.
Everybody starts somewhere. What is it? Lao Tzu says the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one small step. Yep. So you gotta start somewhere. And here we are.
Yeah, we're just having our normal conversations. We're just doing it in front of a phone. Yeah.
We're just winging
We
it.
really did something here, didn't we? And then I just disassociate, don't check it all week. So I'm just counting on other people to let me know if I have any views but no, I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna quit doing that because I really care about you guys and whoever watches this, I care what you think. So we want some comments. We're gonna ask for some comments. We never have asked for any comments yet, so.
Well, that was, I was going to kind of segue into that because we were going to talk about how...
Well, she asked for comments last video, but I cut it out. Never mind. It was part of a ramble, though, so it had to go.
This might be also.
As could be this section right here.
Which is fine. But I was going to segue into that anyway, just later, because we were talking, I had mentioned to Mom last week, that I had really started trying to focus on my supporters and finding my courage rather than all the people that I don't know that are watching this that are judging me or mocking me or whatever.
Right.
because that was such a scary, terrifying thing of what all these strangers would think of me. And I'm like, why do I care about what the strangers, oh my gosh, would you stop? Staring at my floral arrangement.
All kinds of acrobats going on in the corner.
But no, we should focus on our support system and our supporters rather than the strangers that I don't know, that, you know, they're not really affecting me anyway, other than I'm letting them get in my head, again, with the power of our mind. Like, I need to stop doing that. But I feel so much more confident when I started thinking about the people that have been supportive, been like, oh, that was great. Why are you so worried about that? That, you know, looked so natural. You guys looked like you guys do this all the time. And we're like, well, we do. We just don't usually
And we're
put it on
both
the
trembling
internet.
and feeling like rubber.
Yes. So I was going to say, yes, that if you have any words of encouragement to
Give them to
please
us.
leave us a comment. Or, I mean, if you have another opinion or comment, you're more than welcome to express your opinion. Like I said last time, I'll probably crawl in a hole and cry for a couple days because I'm uber sensitive. But either way, everybody has a right to their own opinion. Yeah, well, I will hopefully find so much strength in this. I'll have to. I'm going to have to buck up and put my big girl panties on. We're going to put yourself out there.
But yeah, I agree with her. I was telling her that was one of the main points that I wanted to make about overcoming your fears is a support system, even if it's one single person. As long as that person is someone that understands you and knows you about, you know, maybe your fears and around what they are, even if you're not a person that can really talk a lot about it, someone that knows enough about it that can support you through it, that understands you, knows you, how you're doing. Whether that be your sister, your daughter, your friend, your best friend. We're all three of those. But I mean, you know, just even, you know, and if you don't have family, if you don't have like a best friend, that's why you can go to these, there's so many online
media.
Yes, online
There's so many groups.
support groups where people are literally going through such similar things all over the world. And it's just a universal thing, I think, that when you find out you're not alone, your fears are not as powerful.
It seems
over
cliche,
you.
but
Yeah.
it's actually not. Like, it's so profound, but like it's overused, and like people say it's a cliche, but I think there's a lot of validity to that.
There is.
I have experienced it in my own just life, things going on and struggles, and then, you know, like I said, once you say something, you know, or you get a support system, or you find a group, it just changes everything. It really does. I'm like, and it's like I knew that in my head all along that I wasn't alone, but until I actually reached out and participated in this social
then
group,
you know you're not.
then it's like, then I got the relief. And just speaking about things too, like I kind of hid from this, like you said, you dissociated. I kind of just like didn't want to talk about it, didn't want to know, didn't want to look. But
yeah, she dissociated too. She can't do it for as long because
no. But I was
busy.
thinking too, and I've said this about other things, and I'm sure we'll bring it up again. But the more I talk about something that I am scared of or ashamed of or anything, like the list goes on, anything that I have kind of leaves a nasty taste in my mouth, the more I speak about it, the more like desensitized I become to it. And I think that works
powerful.
I think that works for a lot of things. So like I ended up doing that, like talking about it with my kids. I'm like, I'm never going to feel ashamed in front of my kids. Like my kids are super supportive. And they were like, Mom, like, no, like, well, send us the new one, you know? And I was like, oh my gosh, like just pure love, non-judgment. And like even just starting with them and then talking about it to a few friends, you know, where I kind of threw it out there in casual conversation. And just like almost instantly felt a little bit better about it. Like, you know, because I'm not hiding from it. I'm not giving it that power of authority that I'm not giving into the fear. I'm just like owning it, and I'm like, I got this, and here we are.
You're giving it authority. If you're hiding from it, if you're running from it, if it's running your life, if it's overwhelming your thoughts, you know, then you got to do something. It's time to make a change. You got to do something.
About the accountability thing with having a support group, you have more people. Like I feel the same way about this podcast. Like if I didn't have a support group, and like if you weren't like doing this, I
too.
would have already probably been scared and
Same.
backed out, but I was like, how am I going to do that now? Like, it's going to look like,
Yeah.
well, for one, here we are, like, talking about, we're, like, stepping out of our box and doing big things, and we've, you know, put this out to a lot of people, so,
Yeah.
like, now I feel like I have to be accountable, like, how much more foolish am I going to look if I retract after one and be like, oh,
Right.
just kidding, you know? So it's almost more, like I said, it would make me feel more foolish to
Like
not
you
do
pumped
it.
out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So good thing our first one was about this sort of topic.
Yes, no kidding.
I will say, like, the biggest and foremost, I mentioned it last week, was prayer, and confirmation, and, like, enjoying something you enjoy. Like,
Yes.
it's not like work. We get on
No.
this couch and we do the same thing we do all the time, and we love it. And hopefully it helps one person.
Yes.
You know, one person can take one piece of advice.
Yeah.
I mean, I do that all the time, is look for some kind of positivity
Me too.
somewhere, reach for it, and then when I find it, like, little things here and there will stick with me. So hopefully something we've said sticks with somebody and it'll make it all work. I feel like if you listen to your higher self, a lot of times the hardest things to do, or the best things that you ever do in your life, will be the hardest things.
For
But
sure.
like, we both, through prayer, felt like this was something that we should do, and had confirmations, and then, like, we practice that we believe, you know, we try to what's the word I'm looking for? Like, we try to identify with our higher selves.
Yes.
And whatever,
And check in with our higher self and ask our higher self.
like,
Try
what
to-
should I be doing? Because I believe, like, my higher self is my connection. Like, that's my connection to the source. And
It's like talking to your own soul, kind of.
yeah, which is the closest connect we have to, you know, I am, is what I believe. So even though my, my human
Or your own spirit, I should
persona
say.
is terrified and freaking out about this fear, my gut and my higher self, I feel like, are telling me to do this. And I really do truly believe, even though it was scary and even though it was hard, that in the long run, if you just go with what your higher self is telling you to do, your life is
Save
going to be
yourself a
so
whole
much
lot of-
more, fruitful and blessed.
If they cut us off, I'm sorry, guys. When we say higher self,
Guys, stop. You're going to hurt mama. I might have to go squash this. I've got a pregnant cat.
we have a
that
pregnant
almost
cat
fell
that
off
looks
the
like
fridge.
a barrel at this point. Her belly does. And she just took a leap from the stove to the top of the fridge and did not make it. But anyway, guys, the higher self is kind of like your gut. Your gut, whenever your gut tells you, like your gut instinct, that inner gut feeling, that's basically.
And even if it's scary, I do feel like
Your higher
it's going
self.
to be more prosperous to follow that, and like things will unfold more
Trust your gut.
beautifully for you if you just do it, even though it's scary. So like, that's been a huge part of my motivation, is like knowing that I feel like, you know, something bigger than me is calling me out to do something, and it's something that I've, you know, searched for forever. What do I want to do with my life that's going to be good and help
affect
others
people and help people
in a good, positive way. And then I feel like the answer was there, and maybe for longer than I even realized, but I was like way too afraid to face it. And so I just feel like it was just, like I said, another way to overcome, or another good reason to overcome your fear, is because if the world is working for you, and the universe is working for you, and God is working for
If
you,
God is
then when
for
you're
you,
called
who
to
can
do
be
that,
against you? Like she said, oftentimes the hardest thing is the right thing to do. And so just keep that in mind as well. The
Yes.
right thing is so rewarding though, because like, you know, just like with everything else, we fight it and fight it and fight it. We're scared, it's scary.
but how
It's
many
ugly,
opportunities?
it's this, it's that. But yeah, do you want to grow or no?
Yeah,
Like you want to grow
past.
past it to where it doesn't feel like that anymore. I'm pep talking myself too. It really looks like I'm preaching to you guys. I'm not.
I thought about it
I'm
earlier.
like looking in the mirror. I can see myself right there.
I thought about that earlier too. I was like,
So I'm telling myself this, you know, I don't always listen very well.
I get it. Who does? I mean, we're two very stubborn, like, humans. Like, School of Hard Knocks, wasn't joking about that. Like, it doesn't, we're not one. That's why we're doing a podcast on this, because we had so much fear. Like, some people don't have
We've
that.
learned so many hard lessons.
They don't have that. Like, they just go get it, and they were just
Yeah.
born, you know, with that drive and
Drive.
that self-discipline and motivation. We were not. So we're here for
I
those
wish we
people
were.
today who also are not, and maybe we can inspire you to do the same, because
And even if you are, like, it's fear. Fear is universal. I think everyone has fear. even though fear is a liar. And like she said, you know, in last week's video, yes, there's a time and place for it, and it definitely has a purpose. It's for when there's real danger, that gut feeling that tells you, you know, get out of here, or, you know, there's danger coming. That's a different thing. We're talking about a fear that is like affecting your life.
Of stepping out of your comfort zone
Yeah.
and doing something productive with yourself.
Yeah.
That's a
or
different
overcoming,
kind of fear.
or even overcoming fears of, you know, whatever your fears are. Just
Yeah, the unhealthy ones, like if you have
Unhealthy
a phobia
fears.
that is
Right.
hindering you from living your life to the fullest.
right. Anything that's that extreme, that it's affecting your life, you know, which we've had.
Oh, yeah. Terribly. And like I said, like I keep going back to the prayer and such, and I don't want to preach, but I do want to preach.
Yeah, we don't want to sound preachy, but we
it's
want to tell you
sometimes
what
the
we
most
learned
helpful thing though, 'cause-
from other people that preached to us.
yes, or
that helped us.
or scripture. That's what it reminded
Yeah.
me. We talked this week about how God kind of just planted it in me. I all of a sudden remembered the story about Abraham when he sends him off on, you know, away from his home and his family and the point that I took from this story was that he didn't give him, you know, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Instructions.
He gave him A, and he knew,
Leave.
he trusted
Leave
his higher
everything you
self.
own, leave your family.
Yeah, and he
That
trusted
was
his higher
it.
self enough to, and like the good Lord to step out of that comfort zone and everything he knew on just you need to go, not you need to
No
go and I'll
plan
bless you. You need
after.
to go and I've got, no, just on, that's what he felt his calling was and went and did so and ended up being, again,
The last time's like 7 or 10 or something, or 1,000.
So that was like I said, just those, like when the world keeps dropping or whatever you know believe in,
Yeah.
the universe, whatever it is
you
for
believe
you,
in.
keeps pulling you or calling you.
The
to
higher
do
power than
something
you
and
is pulling you, yeah.
Then I think it's just going to be easier.
It's going
in
to
the
keep
long
pulling
run.
you.
Yeah,
You may as well.
and it's just going to get to the
You're
point.
not going to be comfortable, you know what I mean? Either
Yeah,
way.
like you said, when the point of
May as well be scared this way than
and
uncomfortable
and
as can
growing
be.
and doing something.
Like she said at the end of the last video, get out of bed and move. Like that's I've been there before. I think most of us.
Stop.
He wanted to move.
He wants to be on.
He's
camera.
got the spirit. But yeah,
so
when
those yeah, that was my like big things
Mm-hmm.
of the week this week.
I wanted to mention music, of course, which I think Erica
yeah.
mentioned last video too, but
Not like
But
did.
a lot of times if you there's you know, it's just I think it's sort of a therapy
even on the term, like, cause
for-
yeah, to
for
stave
me, a
to
lot of
stave
times.
off your anxiety, absolutely. Like there's tons of therapeutic stuff to be
Just because
taken
I
from
think-
that.
yeah.
But also there's also motivation for me in that. I feel like God talked me through worship music this week as well, like with What If by Matthew West or Fear Is a Liar. There was a
I love
ton
that
of them
song.
that I heard on the radio
Me too.
this week that I was like, oh, or Trust in You, you know, or Who Am I? Like there was a ton of them that just they pump you up because they remind you how valuable.
Yes.
I don't know why I can't say that word. Valuable you are, and how worthy you are, and how loved you are, and how, you know, God wants
just
you to
reminds
have
you
all of these things that you want.
Consciously just
Just, you know, just go
what
hit 'em.
you really know subconsciously, but we just get so bogged down with life and stress
And the fears and the anxieties
fears.
that hold you back, and that's definitely a good way, like I said, to pump you. And even non-worship music. I mean,
Yeah,
I
it
find
just
a lot
kind of
of it.
reminds you, who you are sometimes, you know, like she said, that you are loved and that, you know, and it just kind of helps you.
And there's other ways
remember
if you're
to
not
be
like a
grateful,
spiritual person. I mean, that's I always
Yeah, that
always.
obviously.
But there's other
doesn't
like
work for
there's a
everyone.
lot of music that can pump you up and motivate you. Like I said, like
Oh, yeah.
Take Back My Life song, you know,
I
and
know the fight song.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's so just like I said, any uplifting thing you can do. We like I said, we touched last week watching positive podcasts, reading positive books. Any
Yes.
positive motivational thing you can do. These are the tips and tricks that we have been using.
Yes, it doesn't have to
haven't
be
tried
every day.
But that's because part of my goal was to work, like my resolution was
But
to
you
work on
can
my
do it every
to-be
day.
list.
Like I could
so.
literally go home and read a chapter out of one of the books. It's not, you know, if I
I
wanted
try to pick something. I don't
Yeah.
do all of them every day, but I try to pick something. Like the words of affirmation
Yeah.
I've been doing daily. It's easy, it's quick. There's no reason why I can't do it and start my day off right. And I try to do like a 5-minute meditation. I have, you know, even if it's 30 seconds, I have 30 seconds to sit and smile. Even if it's in the shower, stand and smile and just put out that positive vibe and repeat to myself, you know, like, you got this, fear's a liar, whatever. We have plenty of time during the day that I know I do anyway. I don't know though. I might be a little ADD. I'm not sure. But I know that during the day, thoughts run through my head constantly, all the time. I will say, I truly believe anybody and everybody at some point during the day can take 30 seconds to think positive thoughts. You can do that every day, no matter what you're doing. You're driving down the road, you're in the shower, you lay down right before bed. There's no excuse that you can't.
It's just so helpful to yourself. People don't realize, like, you know, being kind to yourself and treating yourself like you're your own best friend sometimes. And I'm saying this, and I don't always do it, but I try to more now. Especially the older I get, I really do. Because I always told my girls that, like, when you know, don't know what to do and you're looking for advice, what would you tell your very best friend? Someone you love very much. Treat yourself like that. How would you treat your very best friend? You know, if they're going through what you're going through, if you knew that they were.
Which is solid
Treat yourself
advice.
kindly. Give yourself grace too when you aren't immediately, you know, feeling better sometimes.
I'm so strong with that one, just because I am the first person. I actually gave a pep talk today to a friend who texted me, a friend in need who texted me, and was like, how, like, huge favor. And I was like, what's up? And they were like, I just need motivation toward this, basically. Like, I'm not going to delve into the personal conversation we had, but basically, I need a pep talk, you know, down off the ledge or whatever. And I immediately, you know, jumped in with everything I know, like all that good juicy stuff that I would do for anybody else, like I said. And like, again, and we kind of brushed up, like, or we kind of touched on it last week, about how, like, I will motivate somebody all day long, like,
and then come home and just be
and
so
beat
depressed.
myself up, and like, I'm not doing
not
anything
be
with
so
my
depressed
life.
immediately after pumping someone up, but by the time she's talked herself down, you know what I mean, and beat herself up. And yes,
about all the mistakes I made today and all the calories I took in and all that, you know, whatever it may be.
Whatever
and so
it is,
I've been trying to look
we
at
all
myself
beat ourselves up sometimes, and
the same way, and been like, what, like, if you believe everybody else in the world, which I really do, has the potential to do all these great things, what makes you the only one, the only soul in the world that can't do that? So I've been giving myself those little pep talks too, like, no, you would tell your best friend or anybody, I would tell a stranger off the street and have before, like, you got this, like, life is what you make it, it's all about perspective, you know, just, like I said, motivate
if
anybody.
we just talk to ourselves the way we talk to,
and believe it like I believe it when I tell somebody else.
And if you don't believe it, keep telling yourself you
will.
Fake
it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. Keep telling yourself, and you're gonna start believing it, just like we start believing. Like
lies we tell ourselves,
or tell yourself, you know, the truth.
Yes.
And then sooner or later,
and
you're going to start believing the truth.
You will eventually. Yes. Amen to that. Because we were just talking about that too. Like, there are people that, you know, will tell the same lie so many times they believe it. Well, do that. Even if you think this is a lie, these positive words of affirmation.
Make it your truth.
Do
just like you made this other
until you
truth.
believe it. Fake it till you make it in a good way.
Yeah. Like I said, get you a good friend or a good support system online, and you'll make great friends. I just want to mention that, like, other YouTube channels that I've watched, I've seen a lot of people say that the best friends that they have, sometimes even the best, you know, better friends than the ones they've had their whole life, they've met online on these support chats and support groups for different, you know, things that they've gone through. So, I mean, you just bond. Obviously, I can understand, you know, why. When you finally find people that have literally gone through what you've gone through, it's probably pretty intense of a bond that you would form. And so, yeah, like I said, it's just, I highly recommend it. Don't be alone. The longer you're alone, and I've done things alone for a long, long time, and could easily do it for years, but it's not helpful to anyone, yourself or anyone else.
Yeah, we
So-
truly both believe that we're here to help other, like that we all, like we talk about,
Separating
we're all
yourself and
particles.
isolating is, yeah, exactly.
We all need each other. We all need to rub off on each other. We all need to learn from each other and, you know, learn how to love each other and be one,
And
united
accept
front.
each other's differences because they're supposed to be there. We're all different on purpose, I believe.
Yes, there's beauty in that. If there was, what is the old adage? If there was no you, there would be no me. Because
Perfect.
if we were all the same, you know, if you
Yeah,
weren't the way
we'd
you were,
all
then
be
I would, and we were just the
robots
same, then I wouldn't
of
be
each
me.
other.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah.
have any specialness or uniqueness to myself either.
Yeah.
So we really do believe that. So yeah, so
It's about love.
always.
Love.
But yeah, so my big point was, yeah, go out there and get you some. Take a big old bite out of the world
Yep.
and try it. Like, here's some helpful things.
Bite the
hopefully
day in the ass, guys.
seize the day, carpe
Mhm.
diem, and do something big. Do something that makes you happy.
Out
Live
of your
life.
comfort zone, though.
My favorite motto is life is short, live it well.
Yep.
So do what
Pick
makes you
something
happy.
a little bit out of your comfort zone, though. Even if it's just something that you've thought about doing for a long time and we're like, no.
You'll feel so much better when you
Just
because
take
you'll
a step toward it.
you'll feel stronger. Like it'll prove to yourself that you are strong
And
and,
that
that
you're
you're
capable.
capable.
Mhm.
Yes. So I definitely recommend it.
Me too.
And hopefully, like I said, we can help you motivate to doing those things and maybe help stave off some of your anxiety with some of the things that we've shared.
Amen to that.
Other than that, I say, like I said, leave a comment if you've got any other helpful.
Like the video.
Yes,
If
like.
you like us at all. Or anything we said. Even if
And-
you don't, just like the video.
Ditto. She said it all.
And subscribe.
Ditto. And leave a comment if you like, or if you have any
Yeah.
helpful podcasts.
Yeah.
I'm all about self-growth, so also if you have any
Me too.
helpful podcasts,
Any
books,
advice? Mm-hmm.
YouTube videos,
What do
anything
you
that
do?
you, yeah.
What do you guys do
What's
to
your
overcome your fears?
suggestion?
What do you think would be a good idea? Because we're always open. These are just things that we've heard and read. But yeah, we're
feels
open,
me
open,
too.
open. Please believe we haven't obviously conquered our fears. We
Working
wouldn't
on
still
it.
be reading books on how to conquer our fears. So yeah, let us know, please.
Yeah. And as always, thank you for watching.
Thank you, guys.
for spending the time with us. We're so grateful. And we hope you have a blessed week
Yes, amen to
and
that.
that it is fulfilled, and maybe you do something super brave and prove to yourself that you are a strong warrior.
Do it. And then
Do
tell
it.
us about it.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
Thank
Peace out,
you.
guys.
Every time.